this is Ruth Brown from Heavy Reading, and I'm at Mobile World Congress 2023 in Barcelona with Eric Updyke, CEO of Spirent Communications. So welcome, Eric.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Yeah, fantastic having you here. So the first question I've got to you really is, we're in this highly innovative and technology-driven show and industry. Maybe you could share with us what you see as the key trends and the direction of flow of the industry right now.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, it's great to be back at Mobile World Congress. It's been a couple of years, given COVID. So to see everybody and to see the industry and the excitement in the industry, it's really a treat to be back. I think in terms of major trends, I mean, one thing that's very clear is technology is at the center of our lives, right? And it's in many different ways. We talk a lot about 5G, which is obviously crucial to our future and a big part of this show. I think there's other trends around sort of disaggregation. Many more applications moving to the cloud. The core network around 5G is being virtualized, and we've made some very exciting announcements about Open RAN, which is another example of disaggregation. And I think with all that, there's going to be a lot of incremental investment. In the very short term, there's some macroeconomic concerns, but really, if we just broaden our horizon just a little bit, it's an exciting time for the industry because there's going to be a lot of investment around all these trends.
Great. So moving specifically to talk about 5G,
Sure.
So the industry's invested a lot of money. We've seen a lot of discussion around advanced services. We've seen people trying to progress, build out their networks. Obviously, there's been challenges and discussions in industry. What's your view on the 5G network, where it's going, where we've currently got to as well?
Yeah, sure. Well, there's a long way to go still, which is the exciting and the interesting part of it. There's been a lot of investment in spectrum, initial rollout of networks, but yes, the revenue potential has really not yet been realized, which is where all the real hard work is that's left to do together as an industry. But I think there's a lot of great potential there. The core networks are key enablers to go after those interesting new use cases and that revenue potential. So we've made, as an industry, so much of the investment required. There's some incremental steps, and we need to go figure that out together in the coming months and years.
Brilliant. So you mentioned Open RAN earlier, hugely important. It's really shaken up the industry in terms of challenging traditional radio techniques.
Yeah.
Why do you see that as being so important and crucial for 5G?
Yeah, so it is another example of this disaggregation. What it will do, as other technological trends have done, when a proprietary part of the ecosystem gets opened up and gives rise to more competition, there's just much more innovation that flows in. It's going to give rise to lower costs ultimately. And with all this new innovation and new use cases, it's going to spur on much more revenue potential for the industry, which is obviously very exciting.
Yeah. Building out these networks is obviously a really big challenge, and supporting the build out and end-to-end, fully monitoring and looking into it, test insurance is really important. How are you changing and evolving your test and assurance to keep up to date and innovate in that area?
Yeah. So I think there's a couple really, important trends that, we're playing into and we're very focused on. Given the added complexity of all this technology, we just, as an industry, we can't, follow the traditional approaches of, manual testing and so forth. So automation is key. And, automating these processes to streamline them, to make sure that we can get better quality at a faster pace, at a lower cost out the other end. So automation is hugely important. And then the other thing is, testing is not just done in the lab anymore. It's not just validating that the technology works out of the box, but this notion of continuous integration, continuous development, and continuous test in the live network to make sure that the customer experience is really being satisfied the way that we would all like, is another really important trend in the industry that we're leading.
Again, you've mentioned automation, another key technology within 5G. How do you think this is really underpinning 5G and helping the industry kind of evolve and simplify in many ways?
Yeah, well, we've really adopted a very different approach with our customers. In the past, we might have just sold our leading edge, testing gear, to our customers, and they, would work to sort of validate the network equipment that's going into the network or the devices and so forth. We're taking a broader role on behalf of our customers and saying, we work with all your ecosystem partners. Why don't we help you, simplify this process that is becoming, bigger and more complex? And at the heart of that every time is our automation framework, right? And so if we can automate those processes, it basically does just allow us to get more through faster, and with much greater reliability. So it's a cornerstone of, I think, the industry being able to deal with all this added complexity.
Mm-hmm. And finally, I'd really like to ask you about, you've had some recent press announcements. Maybe you could share them with us.
Yeah, one just a few days ago is related to O-RAN. We're very excited about it. It's an end-to-end O-RAN solution. We think very innovative in the industry in that regard. A single pane of glass, a single user interface to really do an end-to-end O-RAN test. So, back to all the things we've been talking about and trying to root out complexity and to really allow customers to have one comprehensive view of the technology and all the different issues we need to figure out. And so we've got a lot of traction and a lot of interest from customers over the last few days, and it's been a very exciting start.
Fantastic. Well, Eric, thank you so much for talking to me today. I've really enjoyed our conversation. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you. Likewise. Appreciate it.
Thanks.